Right, this is the Norfolk Polish Heritage Group Archive Project, and today's date is the 11th of February 2017. Good morning. Could you tell us your name, please, and your date of birth?
In English?
Yes, in English.
In English.
My name. My name is Władysław Kowalski, and date of birth 18th of August 1924.
Thank you. Could you tell us where you were born?
Born in Germany while my parents were working there.
Right. How long did you stay in Germany?
That I couldn't tell you because I haven't been told by anybody. And no doubt you can, you know why I was a babe.
Right. So did you return to Poland, though?
I returned to Poland, yes.
Yeah. And you spent your childhood in Poland, did you?
I remember a little. I remember a little going to school. In fact, I went to school with my cousin. My cousin's name was Wanda.
Right. But I believe that actually you left Poland at quite a young age.
Very young, yes. Yes, I went to school when I was 7, and of course I finished when I was 14. And of course at that date, I believe the date was 1938. And I was 14 then. And of course I didn't travel on my own. I traveled 3 brothers. My elder brother was 18, which my parents got him a job, and that's the reason why we be able to travel with him. And my younger brother and myself.
Could you tell us where you went when you left Poland?
Where and
where? What country did you go to?
Oh,
what country?
I see. Yes, we went to France. Of course, that's where my parents were. Emigrated before us. And of course, everything was new to me because stand to reason. It's a different country and different. But we got used to it, and I got on well with my French language gradually, and in the end I mastered it perfectly right to speak pretty good French.
What did you do in France?
What did I do? Well, I was, as you can imagine, I was young. I was 14, and so my parents got me somebody to learn hairdressing, which I liked it. I liked it very much because I can still do it now. So I must learn something. And of course, I you know the rest. What the rest happened is when the Germans overran France. That was the finish, as you know. Well, not as far as I was concerned, but as far as the Germans were concerned. And they got me into the office and said, "What job do you do?" And I said, "Men's hairdressing." That was the end. He jumped out of the chair and said, I said, "That's not a job, cheeky." and of course, but he said, "I'll give you a choice, and I'll give you 2 choices. The first one will be to work in a local coal mine. And if you didn't like that, well, you'll have to we'll take you to Germany, and you'll have to do what we want you to do." Which of course, I mean, even at my young age, I didn't sort of appeal to me to go to Germany. So, and my parents wouldn't let me to anyway. So, of course, I stayed with my parents, and I work in a coal mine. Yes, that was a job. And the Germans didn't bother me because I had a job in a coal mine. Mm-hmm. So that was fine. And but I have met a lovely chap who was looking after me while I was learning the trade in a coal mining. And he used to look after me. And after a few months, he said he asked me if I would like to join the underground army, a Polish section, which I think they called it Placówka 29.
Very good.
Pamiętam.
Very good.
No, being the young lad I was, I jumped at it. I said I will join straight away, even without consulting my parents. And of course that was fine. I was working daily, and they didn't bother me. Germans didn't bother me because I had a job coal mining, which was all right.
So what did you do in the Polish section of the resistance?
That's right, yeah. Well, that's another matter. That's Polish section in resistance was quite... well, as far as I was concerned, it was exciting. I mean, I don't know about anybody else. It was exciting because I was a youngster, and then I would volunteer for anything except to fight against the Germans, which was very good, as far as I was concerned, anyway. And we carried on. What we actually did was the people in charge used to get through to London by radio, no doubt, and they asked for an aeroplane to drop some arms in a specified place, and of course they did that, and our job was to be there at a special time when they dropped the arms and get them all together, pick them up, and hide them. And after that, we didn't know nothing about it. Of course, that had to be distributed among the different sections, and the couriers were women. They used to distribute the arms among the different sections.
That's very interesting work.
Well, that's interesting because the women weren't not suspicious, walking in during the day. At least that's what they did. They didn't do it during the night because that would have been suspicious, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. So of course they did that, and a very good job they did as well. Very good.
So what happened next in your life? Because you didn't stay in France for that long, did you?
No. The same person who asked me to join the underground army, in a few months after that, he said, "Would you like to go to England?" And of course, being a young lad I was, I jumped at it again, volunteer. And of course, I've been told to zip it up. Quiet, never mention anything to anybody. You'll be all right. And of course, that's what we did. I mean, I wasn't the only one. There was hundreds of Polish boys like myself from everywhere. And the date came when we eventually had to go to England. Yes, that was very, very exciting for us. I mean, how they did it, you got to give credit to those people who were in charge to do that. That's such a thing. I mean, they organized a ship which was transferred into like a fishing vessel, and of course we had to be down below, and only people dressed as fishermen on top. Okay, we were lucky. The only thing was it took a long while to get to England, and I queried that, because that was England is only a stone throw away from Belgium. Well, so I've been told there is a reason, because the whole sea approaching England is being mined, so they had to dodge the mines, and that's why it took so long. But eventually we got there, and I remember the place where we landed was called Portobello, and that's north of Edinburgh, just like next door to Edinburgh, but north of Edinburgh. And yes, that was very, 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 very good on people who were in charge, because I mean, to get us through there, that was very difficult, but we got there, and of course, I mean, on landing there, we were dispatched into different units, different places, and
was that still in Scotland?
Oh yes, yes.
Still in Scotland.
Still in Scotland, yes. Yes, I was stationed in Scotland, Edinburgh, near Edinburgh, Duddingston. That's the name. Yes, and of course we had to train. We had to train very hard for 6 weeks, non-stop. We had to train at the double, as they say in English, and. But we didn't take no harm, because we were youngsters. Everybody enjoyed it, in fact. Yeah, and after a while, we happened to they said that we're going to school. They're going to send us to school. Okay, I didn't mind. And of course, they sent us to Blackpool, and we had to go to school for a few weeks so they could separate us, what we can do and cannot do, what you're good for, and of course, I mean, my education wasn't good enough to be a pilot or anything, but I was good enough to be dispatched into a Unit 303 Squadron to Collishaw to be what they call it.
Do you mean ground crew, maybe?
Well, ground crew, and I was going to say it in Polish, but I forgot. Obsługa ziemna.
That's ground crew.
Ground crew. Yeah.
Tell us what you did as ground crew.
Yes. I was went in with a qualified mechanic, and I was with him for several months. Yes, that's of course, what we used to do is get the pilots ready to take off for. Yes, and of course sometimes we were unlucky and we had a loss. We lost a pilot, and that was very sad on our part. And but of course you can dictate that kind of war. And of course there's but gradually we got the upper hand, or the pilots did. of course, the pilots did upper hand over the Germans, and that was satisfying. Yes, and of course, gradually, we managed to. Well, what the Air Force did to actually, the Air Force did win the war, because I mean, when they bombed the German factories, and that done the trick.
Can you tell us how you got on with the Polish pilots?
Oh, yes, the pilots. Yeah, they were lovely people. Believe you me, they didn't sort of think, oh, I am a pilot. I'm somebody upper class. No, they were friends. We used to play together. Table tennis, billiards, and things like that. And they were a big ground crew, lovely. That I will always remember.
Lovely.
Yes.
Was Squadron 303 the only squadron at Coltishall, or were there other Polish squadrons?
No, there was 316. Which attached to 303. We were always together when we travelled about different stations. I believe there was another a light bomber, 307, but I had nothing to do with it. Mm. Yeah.
Okay, so after the war was won, what did you do in Civvy Street when you were demobbed?
Yes, well, see, they kept us in the forces, with the aeroplanes until the Japan War was finished. That's that's when I eventually got demobbed, and of course I got demobbed and met my lovely English Rose. And we had a lovely life, believe you me. If things were reversed and started again, I wouldn't wish to change it all. That would be it. Mm-hmm. Concerning my wife, of course, because I mean she was one of, in my case, one of the best.
That's wonderful to hear.
That's wonderful. And I'm not ashamed to say that, because that's the truth. Absolute truth.
It's lovely to hear that you were so happy. Did you have children?
Yes. My first child was a daughter. After marriage, and Linda, her name was. And of course, and she was born in Hitchin, near London, and for some reason we had to move from where we lived, and then of course we I asked my wife whether it was possible to move in with her parents for a specified time. And then, yes, she said, yes, I will ask him. And then, of course, she did. And yes, oh, you're welcome. So, of course, I lived there. But we lived there about 9 months with my grandparents. Well, not grandparents, my in-laws. I got to think now. Yes. And eventually, after my son was born, he was born in near Norwich, and do you know what? I forget the place now.
Was it Hoverton?
Pardon?
Was it Hoverton?
Well, no. That's where we lived.
Oh, right.
We lived at Hoverton, and of course, that specific day was a Saturday. And I was watching football with my dad. Oh, good God! And when I got home, where is Barbara? To her sister. That's what I said. Where is Barbara? So she said she's in hospital having a baby. Stefan.
Lovely name, very Polish.
Lovely name. You know, there is a story about that because I took my wife to pictures before that, of course. And we've seen a picture, Dangerous Moonlight. And in that picture was a Polish pilot named Stefan. And of course, my wife was all over him. She said, if we have a son, that will be Stefan.
Oh, that's a lovely story.
And as it was. That was Stefan. Yeah. Actually, well, he don't live far away from here. He lives in Potterham, just about a couple miles down the road there. Yes, and...
Lovely. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for telling us your very interesting story. Thank you, Mr. Kowalski.
Thank you.